Hey everybody, welcome to Wrestling Through the Years. I'm the armchair QB1 Dizzle. I'm here with the sexiest head in the history of wrestling fans, Dutchy.
Yo.
And I'm here with the man that puts the E in penis enlargement. Eric's here.
It is pretty big.
What's up?
You can't see him. And Money, and we're here, Wrestling Through the Years, baby. Our favorite podcast in yours too, hopefully. Probably isn't, and I don't blame you, but it should be, maybe, probably not. We're here to talk about the XWF.
In your face.
And for a little context, and this is the history of it. And so I'm not going to give a brief context because this is the history. The brief context would be that after WCW and ECW closed down in 2001, we needed an alternative. And this is before TNA and fucking Brian Knobbs and Jimmy Hart.
And Greg Valentine as well.
Yes, I always get Knobbs and Sags. I love the Nasties, and I always get them mixed up. But, yes, Knobbs, fucking Valentine, and old Jimmy Hart started a pro wrestling company. And they wanted, the biggest and the best. No prima donnas was their biggest. If you watch this show, which is hilarious, the fact that they have Hulk Hogan and Sable say no prima donnas multiple times. When two of the biggest R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, but two of the biggest prima donnas in the history of the business are the ones that say. But every episode, no prima donnas, no what else, no what?
And
in your face.
Politics.
Yeah.
No politics.
Yeah. Hogan was one of the biggest politicians.
Yeah.
And by the way, the money man for this was a guy by the name of Kevin Harrington. I really don't know much about him except for he was the money. And he was the one that was like supplying the money to Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
And Knobbs and Valentine. I mean, they were also pulling theirs together.
So he was So he's like Tony Khan's dad.
Yeah. So and
not
like
quite as rich though.
If you go all the way back, he's like Rick Rubin to Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they started this, and they started in November of 2001, which was their first mistake because that's when Vince was ending the alliance angle.
Yeah.
And, they had to say it was a cool setup. Tony Schiavone, Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. They had some good stars that were either not tied up in in Turner contracts, because a lot of the Turner contracts didn't expire till like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think Sting's didn't expire until, he did the World Wrestling All-Stars, but.
Yeah, it's true.
So in 2002, but I'm pretty sure that he was like one of the last ones that him and Goldberg, I think, were the last ones to actually have their deals expire. So.
And they didn't take a shitty fucking buyout.
No.
Like DDP and Booker T.
Yeah. So all these stars were kind of put, they're like, all right, cool. This sounds like a good idea. They do a TV taping. They tape like 10 hours. And as they're starting to get the footage together, what's the first thing that Mr. McButtfuck does? He hires Jerry Lawler. He says, somebody says, "Oh, Vince, there's Jimmy Hart starting a new company called the XWF." Well, God damn it, pal, I need that talent. I can't have competition. I just fucked over ECW and WCW. God damn it, I can't have anybody else.
Yeah, he poached everybody.
Yeah.
Like Jerry the King Lawler did commentary for this. Now, what we're going to be talking about is all that ever really got filmed and released. Well, all that got released. All that got filmed, never got finished because nobody gave a fuck at that point to buy the DVD. So they didn't make it. And they didn't edit it or nothing. But what we got was basically 3 full episodes of television of what they were trying to do. I think it was 19 total matches, maybe.
I think that's what they said. I don't know if I counted 19 matches, but it was close. Well, because I think each show had 6 matches, and I think they count the Hogan Hennig match as 19.
Yeah.
Um,
So
that would be my guess.
I really enjoyed this for a few reasons. Did you watch everything, Eric, that I sent you?
I'm on the third episode right now.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I watched the last two. I kind of didn't like it. That's just me.
What didn't you like about it?
I don't know. It was just
Shawn Michaels wasn't involved.
Marty Jannetty was there.
Yeah, the better racker.
it just didn't feel. It just felt like a low budget TNA.
I think it had more money than TNA.
It had more money than TNA, and they basically had TNA's talent.
Yeah. This was.
I mean,
I guess it wasn't a low budget.
At least with this place, you had people who knew the wrestling business, like Brian Knobbs, Jimmy Hart, Greg Valentine. In TNA, you had a dumb dipshit like Dixie Carter, who didn't know a fucking thing.
Except Barrett was there first. I mean, he was.
Well, they had Russo doing some bad shit. Like TNA, is great stuff from back in the day, but all the storylines blow.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett, was there first, but from the beginning, Dixie's father's company, Panda Energy, funded the whole fucking thing.
Whereas the main story of this, where Roddy's the commissioner and Sable's the CEO, and they're kind of beefing a little bit.
Which I never really saw, except for like at the end of that second episode when she yelled at him for attacking Ian Harrison.
Well, she was kind of talking shit to him at the beginning of the second episode, too, for getting involved in the main event.
Yeah.
No, that was more Gene than her.
Yeah, but she still questioned him about it.
Yeah.
It was like, well, why did you do that? And are you trying to get in the ring? Because if you are, I can't have you as the... So she was kind of alluding to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a slow burn, and I like that. And I like that we were kind of building to something. Now, there wasn't too much. Besides that, there wasn't really feuds. Like, I mean, Vampiro and Kurt Hennig obviously aren't fans of each other.
Yeah. I mean, Nasty Boys and Road Warriors were kind of trying to build this something.
Oh, and the Shane twins. That was a feud. Which that tag division was kind of fun with those three.
The Shane twins got fucked.
The Shane twins.
And the Philly posse.
Yeah, the Public Enemy, which poor Johnny Grunge was looking fat.
Oh, he was looking horrible. And by the way, he wasn't the first one to die. Rocco Rock was.
I know.
Which is astounding. That like Johnny Grunge was looking bigger than my fucking hernia. And fucking Rocco Rock was the one that dropped dead during a match in 2002.
Ooh.
Yeah. But there's things about this. Is it a perfect program? Absolutely not. But I do think that they were trying some fun stuff. They were trying to build some big guys. They were trying to make Hale into the next Goldberg, which, I mean, that obviously wasn't going to happen. But they were trying. Who was the British fella?
Ian Harrison, the British Storm.
Yeah,
he was something.
Yeah,
they crowned him champion at the house shows. So he was the XWF champion.
There you go.
Oh,
I looked it up.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, maybe if there was more episodes, I would have.
That was my main complaint.
I would have maybe liked it a little bit more.
Well, that's
still be on the episodes now, though.
But that's the thing about it. You can't. It didn't work out because Jimmy Hart. They did the 10 episodes. Or whatever. Even though 3 only came out, but they did the episodes. One taping. They did all this at one taping,
which is not unheard of.
It was a 10-hour taping, and they did the whole deal in front of. I don't know if they kept the same crowd or what, but they did the whole deal in one day. And
it's a marathon taping like they used to do Worldwide and Pro back in the day.
There you go. So that's what they did. And then Jimmy Hart took it to networks and they're like, oh my God, this really could be something. So we're going to get Hulk Hogan. And he's like, well, no, Hulk's going back to Vince. And like, oh, but Jerry Lawler's on commentary. He's like, well, no, Jerry Lawler signed back with Vince about 3 days after the taping. And they're like, well, what about Roddy? Well, I think Roddy was still around.
Roddy was still there. Sable was still there.
But everybody else, they're like, oh, this guy? Well, no, he's gone. So they didn't have any. But Vince was like Doug said, oh, we just beat the competition. We don't need another one.
The 3 main talent, well, technically 4, if you think Gene Okerlund still had talent,
Which I still liked him.
Well,
That's-
I have a grudge against bald people.
That's fair.
But which makes no fucking sense.
That's ironic.
But I know it's ironic.
Ironic, moronic.
Idiotic. But you're basically Hulk Hogan, Jerry the King Lawler, Kurt Hennig. So, and Kurt Hennig was basically going to be your top heel.
But that's who the show was built around.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Even though Hulk only did one match. But that was going to be what the show was about, pretty much.
Which Hulk Hogan, Kurt Hennig, Jerry Lawler doing the commentary, Gene doing the interviews.
Yep.
And they took everybody. And then they're like,
and you got the WCW ring announcer, which was pretty cool.
So all the networks are like, so we're buying. Oh yeah, David Penzer, which he ended up going to TNA, and he's had a long career. And I think he's one of the unsung heroes of ring announcers.
Yeah, I liked him.
Doesn't get talked about enough for how good he was.
Yeah.
But that's because Michael Buffer would come in the main event and steal his fucking thunder.
Yeah, exactly.
But he, I mean, so the networks at the end of the day, like, so we're buying Buff Bagwell. Jimmy Hart's like, yeah. And
so we're getting Buff Bagwell, the Nasty Boys, and the Road Warriors, which I think the Road Warriors were actually a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. But what we forget, and this is like the first couple meetings, he keeps trying to go to networks for years, and then the people were like, well, wait, Hawk's dead. Roddy's gone, Sable's gone. Like eventually, within a couple, like he was still trying to ship this thing in like 2005, 2006. He was trying to.
Well, yeah, even when Knobs was doing the when they did the DVDs, like, oh yeah, Jimmy's still trying to get us a network, and it's just like It's been 5 years. You don't have the Wall anymore. You don't have Hawk. You don't have Rocco Rock. And you don't have Kurt Hennig. They're all gone. And Hawk and Kurt Hennig, and, you know, when Rocco Rock did that one match, and, you know, they were doing the vignettes, and they were going to push him as a pretty big deal, and they had a hot manager, Jazzy, former adult film actress, by the way. Big fan of her work. But they were going to debut the Wall, but then, but Hawk and Kurt Hennig were a big focal point of those first 3 episodes.
Yep.
And now in like 2004, 2005, when Jimmy Hart is still trying to ship this thing off, it's like, okay, your focal point of your first 3 episodes, 2 of your main focal points are no longer here.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
And that was their main story. Like, well, when Rena and Roddy go, a couple of years later, that was their main story.
Yeah.
Hulk was obviously, they could have done it without Hulk, I think, because they did 3 episodes without Hulk, and it was fine.
Yeah.
He had 1 bonus match with Kurt Hennig, which is cool for a couple reasons, because you get to see Bobby Heenan's like last bump ever and one of his first ones in a long time. But it's a pretty basic Hogan match. But it was fun to see him.
Yeah.
With Kurt, because Kurt was always a good opponent of his. Kurt was the top heel. So him going was a huge blow. I mean, yes, Vampiro and Buff were still there, but that wasn't enough. They were just kind of building them back up.
Right, exactly. And then, like, you then also kind of have, okay, you know, you're building up, you know, you have Josh Matthews, who then he would go. Roddy and Sable were in WWE by 2003. I'm trying to think of who else got signed. Because they lost, or no, and then TNA started in 2002, which took away Kid Cash, AJ Styles, Low Key, Christopher Daniels.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys.
Which their cruiserweight division was looking pretty good for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cruiserweight division was basically TNA's S division.
Yeah. So it was, you know, they were doing real well, and they were going to have an angle where, you know, Ray Gonzalez, who was wrestling on behalf of Puerto Rico, was going to try to make a deal. They were going to try to build a match between him and Hogan.
Yes.
Puerto Rico versus XWF.
which I like what they had good stuff going with, like Rena and Roddy's storyline was heating up. The tag division was looking really good. They were really building Hale and Ian Harrison to be something.
Yeah.
So they were doing good things. Yes, there was some bad things, like saying in your face every fucking segment, which like every 3 minutes, it's in your face. And, like every promo is like in your face. Like everybody's doing it. And everybody's saying no prima donnas. And it's like, all right, man, we get it. They were beating it to death. It was a little bit like the first Raw on Netflix, where it's like Netflix. It's like when you say the same shit over and over again, it gets super fucking.
Welcome to Netflix. It's like, oh, where are we? Netflix? Okay, cool.
And it's like, oh, after a while, it's like, oh, is it in your face? Like, we get it, man. I like it. It's fun. It's fun, and I get they were trying to really get the brand over, and I like all that. And that was the pro XWF right off the bat. It was like, all right, sometimes revolutions don't have to start with you telling everybody it's a revolution.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when you do that, it's not a revolution. It doesn't work out.
Yeah. You know what it kind of reminds, especially Vince doing the poaching kind of reminds me of?
What?
So, not that I'm really trying to shout out my friends here, but
yeah, you would never do that.
Yeah. But Global Wrestling Federation, when they came around in 91, they were doing pretty good. They were pretty good. They never wanted to commit. We've heard James Beard on this show say, we didn't want to compete. We wanted to be an alternative.
Yeah.
And I remember a Tuesday in Texas pay-per-view in San Antonio, which I don't know the drive between Dallas and San Antonio. I've never had to do it. And if I ever have to do it, you better shoot me. Because I don't even like driving 30 minutes from Warminster to North Wales, Pennsylvania on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But they do a Tuesday in Texas pay-per-view, and some of the bigger stars in Global at the time, the Soul Taker, Chris Walker, who was their tag team champion, Brian Lee, who was a big name for them at the time, and I think there were a couple others. They were all invited to tryouts to be on the show. They signed Chris Walker no-showed a tag team title match because he had told the company, hey, I got to try out with the WWF. I'm more than likely going to sign there. I'm done. Okay, cool. Well, you have one of our tag belts. You have to drop it. Never showed up to drop it. And I've asked Rod about that. I said, well, did you guys have a backup plan? And they're like, because, Chris Walker's partner, Steve Simpson, at the time, like he had to wrestle a handicap match, which is, by the way, one of 3 times that Rod Price actually won a belt by the champion just not showing up. And that's actually become a joke between him and I. So Chris Walker was a tag team champion. He didn't even bother to show up to drop the belt because he was so sure that he was going to get the tryout. The Soul Taker ended up becoming Papa Shango in the WWF, so his tryout was successful. Brian Lee was basically told, hey, you're not good enough. Chris Walker, he got the job. He had a couple of good matches against members of the Orient Express. He jobbed to the Warlord. You never heard from him again. But this was basically Vince McMahon saw that the Global Wrestling Federation was gaining some traction because it was a nice, fun afternoon alternative. God damn it, I need their talent. I don't even know who half these fuckers are, but I need their fucking talent.
Yeah. Now, to play devil's advocate a little bit, Vince is in a situation to where the business is going down.
Yes.
You kind of, this new ruthless aggression shit and like putting new stars, it can only go so far, and you need guys that can work like a Mr. Perfect that can still go. And Jerry Lawler, obviously, with Jim Ross was iconic, and he needed that back. There was a few things that it's like, well, business is getting bad. We need to bring these guys back. I can understand that from a businessman's perspective, that he's like, well, we need to add depth. We need a little more. And people were expecting a lot from this invasion, and we gave them nothing. So we need as many WCW names as possible.
Oh no, I understand why he did it, but that doesn't make him not a scumbag.
No, I mean, I've never defended him for that. But I'm just saying it does make sense as a businessman. I don't know if it's entirely let's tank this promotion as it is we need more guys that can go. And we need
And Hogan, by the way, was one of our biggest stars at the time. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, if we don't imagine they don't do that and we don't get Hogan Rock. You don't get to see that live.
Yeah.
Like it does kind of alter the course of history. Like if Hogan got to stay and do this, like obviously Vince can't let Hogan walk. Hennig and the other ones were like, Hennig's a little like mean, where it's like that feels like poaching. Jerry Lawler and Hogan make perfect sense to why he would need them back.
Yeah. Hennig, I think, was just one of those like I really think Hennig was actually done as a favor for Bossman.
Yeah.
Because Bossman came back around that time too. Bossman and Kurt Hennig were very good friends. And I think Bossman had said, hey, look, if you bring me back, I want Kurt back.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Now, obviously, Kurt Hennig, it went downhill because Kurt was involved in that plane ride from hell.
Yeah, and he had his demons.
And he had his demons. He was involved in a plane ride from hell, and he made the grave mistake of
drugging people.
No, on the plane ride from.
Yeah, but didn't he roofie a couple people on the plane ride?
No, you know what he did? He tried to mess with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
and Brock Lesnar actually tried to throw him off the plane while it was in the air.
You don't fuck with Brock.
No. Not at all. You don't fuck with him then, and you don't fuck with him now. So like he just that was his grave mistake, and it was one of those that because Brock was going to be the next big thing. You're not going to fire Brock, so you're going to fire the guy that fucking tried to. Because what Kurt tried to do is Kurt tried to show him up. Kurt tried to double leg him on the fucking plane. And Brock didn't like that, so Brock actually took him, went to open the door to throw him off the plane.
Yeah.
By the way, not a good thing to do. You do not open up a plane door while it's in midair. Just in case anybody didn't know that.
Yeah. So Kurt didn't work out there.
No,
but the XWF he could have worked out. I think he was a good top heel for them. And him and Bobby Heenan as his agent was funny. Like this is kind of star-studded to start out. Like TNA doesn't feel star-studded.
No,
this feels star-studded because you have some big names in there. And Buff was still kind of popular. Vampiro was cold at the time.
Yeah, well, Vampiro's also coming off. He was out for a year because of a neck injury because he took an awesome bomb the wrong way.
Yeah.
TNA, here's basically what TNA was. TNA was the WCW power plant.
Yeah.
That's what TNA was. A bunch of guys who tried out at the power plant.
Besides the ones that did scooped up like Jindrak and O'Hare.
Well, they were even power plant.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Was Jindrak and O'Hare in TNA? No.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Besides those guys.
Oh.
The WWE already had scooped up.
Oh, when you said Vince, I thought you said Russo.
No, I meant McMahon. Yes, TNA was the power plant, except for the guys that McMahon had scooped up from the invasion shit.
All right.
Jindrak and O'Hare.
See, it would really help if I listened fully.
And Goldberg.
That's true.
Batista. Batista tried out at the power plant.
Yeah, and they told him to fuck off.
I think he told Sarge to fuck off.
Yeah. Adam Pearce actually tried out at the power plant, too.
Yeah, it was like the PC and NXT and shit before all that, but you can't give WCW credit.
Oh, well, I think it was the PC, but according to a lot of people, it was a shit facility.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some stars and some guys that could have been stars that came from there. Sarge does seem like an insecure bitch that just made everybody run sprints instead of teaching them wrestling, but I mean, you can't deny some of the successes that came from there.
Oh, not at all.
Goddamn, look at Lash LaRue.
Big success.
The Raging Cajun. One of my favorite things about this and the way we start out episode 1, which maybe we just stay general talking about it rather than going through each episode.
Yeah.
But we could do either or, but I'm kind of liking the way the conversation's going. We start out by Tony Schiavone saying, I did this for one reason, and it's so I can work with the king. And by that third, like the first episode, it was too much. The XWF. You know, by the second and third episode, they were developing some chemistry, and those two could have been a real problem together. And I mean in a good way. Like those guys, Schiavone and King, could have like really, especially if they would have stayed with JR and Heyman in WWE, they could have overtook that as the top commentary duo.
Yeah.
Like those two actually were getting some good chemistry. King was being a little weird and creepy with having that girl with him and shit.
Oh, Kitten?
Yeah, but he was trying to play on the puppies and stuff. So it made sense. But it was a little like, you know, King, because a lot of King stuff, you look at it now, you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
But him and Schiavone were kind of good together. And Schiavone was always a great play-by-play guy, and they were taking it serious, and they were like their commentary through the tag matches and like through Hale and shit. They were putting those guys over great.
Yeah, it's the one thing that always kind of bugged me while watching this, though. You guys have heard about the issues that Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan had towards the end, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
but reiterate for people that don't know.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, in December of 2000. Craig Leathers, who was the executive producer for WCW, he got the job after Bischoff got promoted to whatever the fuck he got promoted to. So he was the one in charge of the announcers. He was the one in charge of TV. And he took his job way too seriously. Tony Schiavone does not speak well of him. Now, I don't think Bischoff really liked him that much either. So in December of 2000, he called Tony Schiavone and said, I'm firing Bobby Heenan. Okay. Well, Craig, I'm going to give him a call and talk to him because he goes, no, you're not. You do not talk to, or like they had already fired him actually. So he's like, I already fired Bobby Heenan. He's already threatened to sue us. Therefore, you are no longer allowed to talk to him. And Tony Schiavone did as he was told because he was a good company guy. Now, if it were me, I would have said, okay, Craig, I won't talk to him. And I would have called him right away and said, yeah, Craig Leathers is a fucking asshole. Because he was. Now, if you listen to Larry Zbyszko said that him and Heenan saw that the ship was going down, so they went and they got out of their contracts and left. Now, Bobby Heenan doesn't really collaborate this story. But so Bobby Heenan held a grudge against Tony Schiavone because he even told Tony at one point, like a couple of years later, he's just like, you did me dirty.
Damn.
You did me dirty by not calling me. He goes, you and I were supposed to be friends. He goes, Bobby, I know. He goes, all right, here's my number. Call me. We're going to straighten this out. And Tony Schiavone just never called him because he felt too guilty.
That's crazy.
So they never straightened out their issues.
That sucks.
So
because I love them together.
Yeah. So it just kind of it amazed me that this is a year after all this bullshit happened.
Yeah.
And they're working for this new company.
Yeah, but Heenan's on-screen talent and kind of away from him.
Yeah. I mean,
like imagine fucking Heenan, which by the way, I don't know if they like knew about his issues. Yeah, didn't he have cancer? They ended up taking him.
Yeah, so he had throat cancer, which he revealed during an RF video shoot interview because he did one, like I think at the beginning of 2002.
Okay, so I don't know if that was like a thing yet, but it looked like it was becoming one. He didn't look as bad as he would look like at the Hall of Fame and stuff, but he was starting to like you could see the throat go like it like be.
You could hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
So at WrestleMania 17, when he did the commentary for the Gimmick Battle Royal, you could kind of hear it then.
Yeah.
Like in his voice.
Yeah.
You could hear something was going wrong.
Yeah. So he always right there. And I could kind of see it here a little bit. But if it was King, Bobby, and Tony on the call, imagine that. That might be too much color commentary, but that would be fucking insane.
Well,
a 3-man booth with those three.
King and Bobby actually did do a 3-man booth with Vince back in the early stage or late stages of 92, early stages of 93 and on WWF Superstars. But after like 2 or 3 weeks, Vince realized he's like, I can't fucking take this shit. So he took Heenan out and told Heenan told Monsoon, he's like, he's your fucking problem on Wrestling Challenge. And he put Savage back on Superstars with him.
Which, by the way, don't we get Bobby back in a way after this in the WWE too? Or is that just for documentaries and stuff?
Documentary. I think in 2004, like he became kind of a fixture for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because in 2004 he got inducted. 2005 he inducted Orndorff. 2006 he inducted the Blackjacks.
Yeah.
In 2007 he inducted Nick Bockwinkel, and then his throat cancer just got like worse because that's when he actually started having parts of his jaw removed.
Because I remember the AWA video where he looked really bad, but that's when he said like there's red hot and there's white hot, and you can't get hotter than that.
Yeah.
But he looked really sick at that point.
Yeah, he was. I think by like 2006. I think after like 2007, he had actually told the company, like, yeah, you can't use me anymore. Like, I can't talk anymore.
Yeah. Which is sad. But yeah, King and Tony, I thought had good fucking chemistry. And by episode 3, it's like I could see this 2-man booth being something special.
Yeah.
Like if you let them have a full like 50 something episodes just to keep developing together, I think they would have been magic at a certain point. That was one of the strongest things about the show. But to me, the strongest thing was how much Roddy gave a fuck about this. Because everybody else chanting the XWF, it came across as a little corny. It felt like he believed it. He gave a fuck, and this was all he had. And like his promos, like he was getting really fucking into being in the XWF. He seemed to really give a fuck about being the commissioner, and really like he would go red in the face, and his shit was Sable. And by the way, I think this is like the most articulate and the best Sable has ever been.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Like she had a clear character. She was kind of in that boss lady role, and she kind of was feeling herself. And I think that's better than anything she's ever done. Even the painted tits and the attitude and the stuff that made her really famous. But I thought those two as the on-screen figures were really good. And like fucking people begging like Roddy for shit. He's like, all right, you'll get a bet. Like he was like fun backstage. His backstage segments were even funny. I thought Piper kind of made this thing. And he was all over the show. He would show up at each event. Like this was kind of Piper's program, and I thought he really made he is the reason it felt a little special.
Yeah, absolutely, because he was just. I mean, he was quite the character, and he's always been good in that commissioner role.
And he's always been one of the greatest promos of all time.
Yeah,
but like to see kind of stuff I've never seen before of him is like, oh my God, he was even fucking amazing here. Some of the stuff in TNA when he's blaming Russo for Owen Hart's death and shit, it's like, all right, Roddy.
Yeah, it's just like, he didn't necessarily like, yes, he's the one that, scripted it in that Owen could do the thing, but Vince McMahon is the one that said, all right, well, we're trying these people out, even though their equipment that they use isn't safe.
I mean, no matter your view on the situation, at the end of the day, it's an accident, but no matter your view, if you do have a problem, you do blame a guy, maybe not do it on live television.
No, not at all.
It just came across in bad taste. But that was one of the only times I've ever cringed at Piper. Piper's usually has me with him the whole time, and here was no different. He was really into the XWF. He was really into being the commissioner, and he would you could tell he bought into the dream, or at least he made it fucking seem like he did, because it felt all. But everybody else was trying and doing like Vampiro was on the stick he was trying to be entertaining. I don't think it's Vampiro's best work, even in the ring. You can tell he was still feeling that injury.
Yeah.
I thought out of everybody that got to talk, Piper was by far better than everybody. And he did most of the talking because you didn't have a lot of all the promos were, I'm going to kill it in the XWF in your face.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like,
Yeah,
for almost
they
other
didn't really.
people.
I mean, they had Gene do like backstage interview, but the only people he really interviewed were Sable and Piper, and then he interviewed Jimmy Hart, and he was always trying to get Piper going, and it's just like I was waiting for Piper to just come in and put the sleeper on Gene.
Yeah, you thought Gene was healing the whole time.
Yeah.
Which it does get kind of weird out of nowhere because the whole time it kind of feels like Rena's kind of a baby face, but you can see her going heel, and Piper's just a pure baby face. And then they do the thing. Was it episode 2 with Snuka or 3?
Episode 3 with Snuka.
They do the whole thing with Snuka and Snuka Jr. and him, and they do like it's like a 5-10 minute thing of him talking shit to Jimmy, and he's just a full heel there, just out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Yeah, he was getting really into, and like, I get it. Let's reignite this whole rivalry and make it something.
By the way, I apologize if that gets us copyright because that is actually a song.
They did have some cool legends out for the first episode, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then, because Gene Simmons, he came out, he cut a promo.
Yeah, they were calling them like celebrities and shit, but they had some like old wrestlers. I might have to look it up.
Carlos Colon, I know, was out there.
Carlos Colon. Which, Jesus Christ, but R.I.P. Bruiser Brody.
Well, because Carlito was actually going to be part of the company.
The first which would have been awesome. The first match ever was Buff Bagwell and Big Vito.
Yeah, which, by the way, I actually sent Big Vito the link to the episode.
How you doing, Pete?
You guys think Sting would have done it if he was available?
Well, he was doing that WWA like Doug talked about. Which was like an Australian thing.
He might have, like, if he was available, I think he would have.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the guys would have.
Also, though, they had money guys and they had some money behind it, but they didn't have Tony Khan money.
No.
And like, and Sting gets fucking paid when he works. So they don't, I don't know if they had the budget for everybody that they wanted. For the money they had, and I heard they spent like $2-something million on this whole deal.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of big. Usually Hulk would just take $2 million on his own, and I think he wanted to, and that's why he didn't do it. But like, they had some big stars for not having that much.
Yeah, and like, you had your mix of nostalgia, you had your mix of younger guys like a Kid Cash and AJ Styles,
and throughout the whole DVD, fucking Jimmy Hart saying we wanted old, new, in the future, or old, present, in the future, and. Poor fucking Knobs, because it really felt like he wanted this thing to make it, and he kept like every time it went to him and Jimmy, he's like, "We really had something." Like, he's like,
"Well, because they did." And
yeah.
I posed this question to you last night or this morning or whenever the hell I posed it to you. I know it's usually I usually pose questions to you at times of the day when you really don't feel like talking, but. Do you guys think that maybe this would have worked out a little better if they would have started it in like August or September and not November?
Yeah.
They would have had more time.
You would have had more time, and then Tony, King could have got more used to Tony Schiavone, and when Vince said, "King, you got to come back, pal," he would have been like, "Nah, I've got something developed with Tony. Fuck you."
Well, I don't think they would have ever got the money, though, to compete with Vince's money. And at the end of the day, you want to work for I don't think King was ever brought in and like, let's tear down the WWE and you have to be bought in on that vision. And I don't think everybody there was.
No, I know exactly why he was brought in. He was brought in because Jimmy Hart is a longtime friend of his.
Yeah.
They go all the way back to the 70s.
And WWE just pissed him off by firing his wife, and he stomped out. So he was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah. He's like, all right, Jimmy, yeah, you're a friend of mine. I'll do it.
He even did the WWE too.
Yeah.
So he tried a couple things, and but at the end of the day, if they called him back, he was going to go back. There's certain guys that they're going to go. Just like when Cody started AEW, it was a good chance. Like, he's probably doing this to get back to WWE.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't saying it, but it was kind of, in the shadows a little bit.
I was probably playing all along.
At the end of the day, that's the dance. So a lot of people, like even Hogan's like, I'm going to go back and get that Vince paycheck. He needs me. So, you didn't have – for guys like Buff, Yeah, this was Buff's last shot.
Well, yeah, because Buff failed in the WWF.
Yeah, so Buff was already kind of done. So like for the guys like Buff and Vampiro, it's like, all right, we need this and we need this. So they put their all in it. And a lot of the young guys like AJ, the best match on this whole DVD and on all 3 episodes is AJ Styles and Kid Cash.
Oh, that was fantastic.
For the Cruiserweight title. That showed like that's early TNA AJ right there. And Cash was fucking actually pretty good and pretty over it with his character at the time. And it was just a hard-hitting, badass, high-flying match. It's the best thing on all 3 episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
It has the most time because a lot of the matches are like 4-minute squashes.
Well, yeah, because they had to fit as much, and that's the way a worldwide or pro show would be developed.
Well, yeah.
You had to fit at least 5 to 6 matches on there.
Yeah, and if Buff's got to wrestle 10 times, he's not going to fucking put a 5-star classic every time in one day. That's a lot to ask of somebody.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, if you're given a, all right, cool, because, and it used to be this way back in the day too. Okay, you got the board, you got all the matches written on there, and a guy will see his name on there 5 times in a 12 show taping.
Yeah.
You'll see your name 5 times. Okay. How long is each match going? All right. Well, this match is going to go about 3. This match is going to go about 15.
Well, that's why a lot of territory undercard matches did not take a long time.
And you're just like, okay, I got to wrestle 5 times and one of them is 15 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, and then you also have to look and see, it's like, all right, I'm wrestling 5 times. Am I winning all of them?
And then there's guys like Greg the Hammer who didn't see his name on the board one time.
Yeah, and by the way, he owned the fucking company.
But that was one of my favorite segments of him being like, I'm not on this week. What the fuck? And him trying to bitch to Piper. And he's like, I'll get the dog collar, to allude to their dog collar match.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was kind of fun shit.
And then, like, when he told Hogan's nephew, he's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, kid. You got to be an asshole just like this guy to get on. You're like that, you can get on the show." And where like he just ignored Valentine the entire time, but he's slapping him.
Did Jimmy ever go to like
him and shit? He's fucking grabbing his hair. That shit had me dying.
Yeah,
that was so funny. What'd you say, Eric?
Did Jimmy ever like go to like Ted Turner? And was Ted Turner still the owner?
No, Ted Turner had already been phased out,
and it was already abundantly clear that TNT or TBS was not going to have.
Yeah,
wrestling.
Jamie Kellner had already made it clear. It's like wrestling is done.
Yeah,
because when Bischoff was trying to buy back WCW, he had told, like he had basically told WCW, it's like, look, we need to stay on here for right now until we can find another network. And Jamie Kellner said, okay, you've got the company, but by the way, we're fucking done with you. And it's like, we need to stay here to be, we'll find another network. Okay, cool. Find another network, but you're not staying here. We are done.
They basically sold like a company that probably could have, even with all the money they lost in 99 and 2000, they probably could have sold that company for about 300 million.
Yeah.
To 400 million. And they sold it to Vince for 2.5. So they did not want wrestling at all. And even though you might like, and that's one of those sketchy things that, well, Brad Siegel's friend made the deal and shit like that. There was some sketchiness there, but they sold it for a very cheap amount of money because they just wanted wrestling off the fucking network. They were sick of it.
Yeah. And I find it funny how like, Diamond Dallas Page, like, because Jamie Kellner is basically known as the man who killed WCW. Yeah. And then they did that Who Killed WCW documentary, and one of Diamond Dallas Page's last statements on there was "fuck Jamie Kellner," and then 3 days later, Jamie Kellner died. But I did cartwheels for the. Well, I actually can't do a cartwheel. I mentally did cartwheels because I hate that fucking guy. Took away my favorite company. Fuck you, Jamie Kellner. Hope you're doing good down there.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in piss.
All right, calm down. Business is business. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of it either. I wish WCW would still run it to this day, obviously.
Yeah. You think? You guys think Eric Bischoff, if he was available, he would have joined them?
I don't know what he would have added.
Just another guy to put his mouth on Hulk's dick, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, creative. I like the creative that way. Honestly, whoever was booking, whether it was Knobs, Valentine, Hart, or the combination of the three of them, I liked what they were doing without having Eric Bischoff make a bunch of false finishes to the matches and everybody make a new NWO and everybody come out and attack. Like, Bischoff has had a couple creative wins, but creatively, he's not good at this.
No, not at all.
And just in my opinion, he's done a lot of dumb shit too. Like, he had to rely on Kevin Sullivan, and he never had a good finish guy, and he could never come up with a good finish for anything. And that's the only fucking bad thing you can say about WCW. It's a great company, besides at the end of a match, usually is going to disappoint you in some way.
Well,
And
yeah,
it should-
because you had to, it was like overbooked as all hell.
Yeah. And that was kind of Bischoff's signature. Whether you blame Sullivan or whoever for that, Bischoff let it happen. So I liked that the matches ended with clear winners in this, and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked
That's
that there
one
wasn't.
thing. Even though they were short, I
Yeah.
did like that you knew a finish was coming when they hit their finisher.
Yeah, and it was short and sweet. It felt like old territory wrestling. Or
Yeah,
like
exactly.
and it was a good mix of wrestling with like fucking high flying shit, and like they had kind of something for everybody, like they were saying. They didn't have the most talent in the world, but they had some good guys that could go. And what they were trying to build, like, I would have chose a different main event scene besides Buff and Vampiro, but they were trying to work on two young guys that could deliver.
Yeah, and also trying to build up that Ian Harrison.
Yeah, he was clearly, and he became an XWF champion. He was clearly the future. And they were really building up Hale, too.
Yeah,
Because the way this
and
started.
then Dresden.
Yeah, Dresden, too, especially towards the end. But this whole started, they weren't even going to call it the XWF. Jimmy Hart had an idea for Hogan Versus, and they were going to sell it as a primetime special for any network. Maybe even like HBO to do like a primetime live special where Hogan faces this big monster. And Hale was going to be that guy that they were thinking about. So they had big plans for Hale, and he kind of looked like a fat Goldberg, so they were like trying to probably rekindle that flame. And so they did have some shit that they were building. And like Hale versus Marty Jannetty was a fun match that got Hale over.
Yeah.
I like to see Marty Jannetty was jacked back then too.
He really
in great
was.
shape.
But the fact that he was used to get over Hale and then to get over Dresden.
Yeah. But it was good because he's a good jobber.
Yeah.
He was a great worker in his own right, and he probably, a lot of people think he never should have been a jobber. But when he was a jobber, he was good at putting guys over, too. He's always been good for that. You can put Marty in there, have somebody beat him, and that guy looks better because he worked with Marty.
Yeah.
Marty makes people look good. He made Hale look good. So I'll always like Marty, and seeing Marty here, it's not just because he run my back at a convention. I just think he's kind of an unsung hero. I wish he could have got out of his own way. It's one of those guys that if he only could get out of his own way, what a star he could have been.
Think of what the run he could have had in 2005. He has this match with Kurt Angle, which really impressed a lot of people. So he gets signed, but then he's just like, well, I got to honor my bookings first. And then he gets arrested.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, well, you're done.
I mean, he's been with the WWE maybe more times than anybody. I
think him and Jim Neidhart are tied.
Yeah, like him, Neidhart, Iron Sheik got fired and came back a lot.
Oh, God.
There's a lot like those. That's like an elite class of how the fuck has this guy gotten so many chances? Like Marty's been he's been there at least 7 times. And like, you want to try to count it?
Yeah. Let's see. So 92, he got fired. So 87, him and Sean first got there, got fired.
Yeah.
88, 92, 93, 95.
Wow.
After the new Rockers.
Yeah. So, and then 2005.
But that happened twice because remember, they brought him back for the thing him and they did against La Resistance. And he did the master lock thing. Remember that? That
Oh
was
yeah,
even
so it's all
before.
right. Yeah, so that
And they signed
2006.
him after that.
Yeah.
And then they fired him. And then they came back again for the angle thing. And then he got fired again.
Yeah. Oh, he
Or the
did-
angle thing was first, and
Yeah.
then the other thing. Yeah.
and then they were going to have him come back because the original plan was him and Sean were going to wrestle Vince and Shane at Backlash, and then they're like, you know what? Or because because they did a thing where they hired him, Henry Godwin, Flash Funk, and somebody else.
I think Rodney Mack.
Yeah. And then like they all like just kind of like phased out or something.
Yeah, they were trying to give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity, pal. But yeah, so Jannetty's been there and fired a lot.
Yeah.
So,
The
but
7 times actually, like you said.
but seeing him here was fun, and he was a good job guy for some of these big dudes,
Oh, absolutely.
which was nice. The tag feud I really do enjoy of the Road Warriors and the Nasty Boys, and the Nasty Boys like interrupting the matches, and the Shane Twins. The Shane Twins would go on to be with Simon Dean and be called the Gemini on SmackDown.
Gemini or Gemini?
I think Gemini. And this shit way better than that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
This was actually kind of good.
Yeah.
Like they look pretty good. Them and Road Warriors for like 2 old guys and 2 green guys, pretty good match.
Oh, absolutely.
And like even with the Nasty Boys for 2 green guys and 2 fat guys, pretty good match. Like,
Yeah.
Even though I will say Sags was getting kind of slimmer on that time.
He was starting to lose weight. Knobs was like, Jesus Christ.
Jobs was still big. But I remember, I've seen Sags at a convention within the last couple of years, and he's still a big boy. But here he was like, oh, he must be on fucking Jenny Craig a little bit. Might be doing some weight watching. Yeah, I like that tag division. We didn't see too much of Public Enemy, but they were teasing him a lot.
The one match.
Yeah, I think they did one match. Yeah, I think they did one match.
Yeah, they did the one match with Jazzy in their corner.
Who was it against?
The Shanes.
Oh, yeah. And the Nasties interrupted that, too. And then the
Road Warriors came down.
Which that was a little weird. The first episode, the Road Warriors saved the Shane Twins. The second episode, they wrestled the Shane Twins. And then the third episode, they saved the Shane Twins again. It's like, are you friends or do you hate each other? What the fuck's going on there?
Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies close.
It's a good point, Eric.
What do you say?
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Because I brought up how the Road Warriors saved the Shane Twins episode 1, wrestled them the next week, and then saved them the week after.
They even attacked him from behind before the match, or kind of.
Yeah, I think they did, didn't they?
Kinda, yeah. But that's usually how Hawk and Animal work too.
Yeah, they don't fuck around. They get right to business.
Yeah, exactly.
Which RIP both of those gentlemen.
Oh, absolutely. RIP them, RIP.
That's the thing. On the video, because they showed the DVD with it and Knobs talking, and he's saying RIP to Rocco Rock and The Wall and Hawk. And did Perfect get it too? Because Perfect was dead by then. Mr. Perfect. And now you think now, and it's like way more of those guys are even dead now.
Yeah, Johnny Grunge, Heenan, Gene, Hulk, Animal.
Jimmy?
No, Jimmy Hart.
No.
Jimmy Hart basically ages like Kenny Rogers.
And he still looks good too. He still looks the same almost.
I mean, Kenny Rogers is dead now, so that's a bad comparison. But
yeah, but he's aging like a fine wine.
Yeah, well, plastic surgery.
Here, he looked older here than he does now.
Yeah.
Which was
by the way, Hale also dead.
Oh, R.I.P. That's insane.
He passed, I think, in 04, 05, or 06, because he wasn't part of the tribute from that Knobs did. Jimmy Snuka passed. He's gone. I mean, a lot of those guys had passed away. I mean, R.I.P. to all of them actually.
Yep.
All right, busy. Roddy?
Yeah, Roddy,
up
he's
Roddy.
gone.
Sable was married to Brock.
Or you compare that to being dead?
I mean, the pussies at least ripped apart.
Jesus Christ.
He started it.
I know. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
This was. I really wanted to see more.
What were
I
things?
would have loved to see what Clint would have said about this.
He'd be like, this is ass, yo.
He would have fell asleep.
Yeah.
See, me and Clint, like, I think would have felt the same way. I don't think it was total ass. I think they needed more time.
Well, I've said for years that you have horrible taste. So
I can see how one would like this, though. There are things about it, and it's a little hammy.
well, because Eric's also more of a casual fan because he'll tune in, when the Phillies aren't playing or if Law and Order SVU's not on.
But you even said, like, during the one Sable Piper promo, you're like, some of this is fucking corny.
Yeah, because it really was.
It
That's how I
wasn't
felt.
just.
I don't think it was ass. I just felt like it was kind of corny.
Yeah, a lot of it was corny. But to me,
But that's how wrestling is supposed to be.
Yeah, corny and wrestling go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I just think it obviously it needed more time to brew, and I think the things that they were building could have worked, especially the main storyline. It really could have popped off in an interesting way, and they were getting a lot of people involved in it and stuff. And like the way that third episode ends, you're like, I need more.
Like after that, because Buff and Vampiro are starting to feud.
Roddy hit somebody with a chair, and Rita's yelling.
And that was episode 2.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he hit Ian Harrison with the chair. And Rena's yelling at him, but then, like in episode 3, he went full heel on Snuka, and Sable's just like, get in the ring and wrestle. You have my permission. And Piper's just like, no, that's not what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I make main events.
So, I mean, all in all, I enjoyed it. And, we haven't mentioned, Mark Merrill was part of it. Obviously, he was married to Sable at the time.
Yeah, fucking the boss.
What's his name?
Norman Smiley, who wrestled Mark Merrill. I actually thought the match was good.
Which, big wiggle.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, out of all the things of this, out of all the what ifs, if this ends up working, of the hypotheticals, like how does the universe change? Hulk not doing the match with Rock is a big one. The biggest one, well, maybe not the biggest, but a big one. Rita and Merrill might never ever divorce, and she might never meet Brock. And that might never happen.
Yeah. Well, didn't he talk about the XWF in the interview with Van Vliet?
I can't remember.
I want to say,
would there have been a TNA?
No, because Cash and AJ were a big part of TNA. So was Low Key, or who was known as Quick Kick.
Yeah.
And Christopher Daniel.
That's true, too.
But, like, she never goes to WWE. She never meets Brock. Like, a lot of things change.
Yeah. They're still married, and, she would be a preacher's wife, because I think he's a minister now, isn't he?
Yeah. He does a lot of TED Talks and shit.
Yeah.
So this would have been the TNA instead of what TNA is now.
I think it could have gotten the higher ranks, though.
Yeah, because you had star power.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because in 2001, stars of the 80s were still drawing.
And I think it's half that, and I think it's half if you had the booking that they were starting to do and not Russo. Because Russo, I like Russo, and I'm actually a fan, and what he did in the Attitude Era and some of the WCW stuff, I think it's shit on more than it should. TNA, he held them back. He held them back with the edgy shit for like better network deals. Like he held them back in a lot of ways. Whereas they could have, like, some of his storytelling was okay, but like a lot of it sucked.
Yeah.
And like people just think they just shit on him for WCW, but it's like you forget TNA. He was doing some. They were chanting "Fire Russo" for a reason.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that did not work there. Whereas the booking here was looking kind of strong to where if they had a Samoa Joe eventually, if they had like certain guys, they might have done it better. Honestly, if they had Kurt, they might have done it better.
Yeah, like they had
the booking seemed to be better than TNA for only the 3 episodes that we saw.
Right. And because we don't know how those other episodes, that the other stuff that they taped panned out.
Yeah, we don't know what happens, which kills you.
Oh, fucking like it puts the dagger right to my dick. Eric opened up his mouth when I said my dick. Anyway. Yeah.
But I think we'll give probably closing thoughts. We went a Chris Bauer on the XWF, which I think is more than anybody's ever talked about it. So
Honky Tonk Man only gave 15 minutes on it, which I didn't even know he was involved. And I see this interview, Honky Tonk Man shoots on why the XWF failed. It's like he wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there. That is funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck is he a fucking expert on it?
But it's pretty cut and dry with why.
Just because him and Valentine used to fuck each other in the ass?
Maybe he's one of the only ones that are still alive.
I mean, yes, he is still alive, but not like
just a honky tonk man.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't fucking there though. So
I just remember seeing him at a convention one time and he was talking shit about Bray Wyatt. It's like, yeah, I'm done listening to Honky Tonk Man. I don't think he knows wrestling as much as he thinks he does.
Kevin Owens just wants to be cool. Like, nobody wants to be a heel. And it's just like, dude, you're in flip-flops. Fuck off.
That makes a heel to you.
Yeah.
Flip-flop. I'm going to rate the 3 episodes a solid 6 out of 10 because I think, yes, there was issues. And, yes, we never really got – Kid Cash and AJ is the closest thing we get to like a 3.5-star match, like a really good wrestling match. The rest are just like squashes and build-ups to other things, which is good. And the Road Warriors and the Shade Twins, I think, is a close second for a really good match.
Road Warriors and Shane Twins was really good. I did enjoy that Cruiserweight Battle Royal.
That was fun, too, especially once it got towards the end.
Yeah. And Ian Harrison, I feel like he should have been signed by somebody.
He really should. He looked like he was going to be a star, and he had the look. You think Vince would have been like,
yeah, when Vince is in there poaching talent, he's like, I need that Ian Harrison, pal. He looks like he injects steroids.
I'm surprised he didn't end up in TNA.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him.
I mean, he's still alive.
So there you go. But he never made it in the business.
Yeah, which is weird.
That is weird. Because I was getting into it. I was like, oh, he could be something. I can see this.
Yeah.
I can see him and Hogan, putting on maybe not
that might have been
a
plan.
A spectacle match.
I mean, he's a Hogan type of worker.
Yeah. So I was liking that. I was more bought into him than I was Hale.
Yeah.
Even though Hale had Jimmy Hart, I was more into Ian.
Yeah, because
right?
Ian. Because he was just more like he had more charisma than Hale did. Hale's charisma was Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 6 because I think it was doing good and actually providing what it was saying it was providing, but there was some, chinks in the armor.
How about Josh Matthews working a wrestling match though before we?
Oh shit, Josh and
Horace.
Josh and Horace wasn't bad, but you could tell Josh wanted to be Jeff Hardy so bad. He even wore the blue shirt with the sweat stains and stuff, and
and like doing it. Jeff Hardy has that way that he does the sunset flip, and Josh did it the same way.
Wasn't that his first professional wrestling match, like a full match in the ring?
Yeah,
because he hadn't done Velocity yet, right?
He was never even.
He didn't wrestle on Velocity.
He didn't. He had, as far as I know, he's had 3 matches.
Okay.
That match, and then whatever shit he did in TNA when he wrestled Jeremy Borash, but main event anywhere in the country. But That was his first ever match, and then he worked 2 matches with Orlando Jordan in 2004.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, one was a tag match where it was him and Booker T versus Orlando Jordan and JBL.
So it was cool seeing him. Who brought him out into the backstage area?
Cash.
Yeah, Kid Cash was like, all right, come on, get out of here. Let's come with me. I mean, he was a Jeff Hardy clone, but I liked him.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I hate him now, but
yeah. Yeah, I'm giving it a 6-2.
I'm gonna say 6-5.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to see more.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah.
So it was entertaining. We had a lot of fun making fun of the in your face.
I'm gonna give it a solid 5, just because we didn't get enough from it, at least from my point of view. So
That's fair.
it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't how do I put it? It wasn't horrible, but it was entertaining.
I agree.
It wasn't horrible, but they had a long way to go before they could really be considered like really good.
Yeah.
It was getting there. It really was a fun build, and it was getting there, but it wasn't all it could be yet.
Yeah.
And they didn't have time because they did all this in one day.
Yeah.
Which
Again,
is insane.
but that's how tapings used to work back in the day. I mean, you know how many times Universal Studios had fucking marathon tapings at WCW?
Yeah, but they were doing like full storylines in here. A lot of those tapings were matches.
Yeah, well, yeah, they were matches that were Worldwide and Pro never had storylines.
Yeah. You had matches, and I'm going to kick this guy's ass promos.
Yeah. Even when Worldwide was technically WCW's second show.
Yeah. So that was a little, and the fact that like Sable's coming out in a different dress each time.
I mean,
Did you notice it was the same fans like behind Tony and King?
I don't remember if it was the same people.
I don't either.
I wasn't looking in the crowd like that. But this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You guys want to know what we're doing next week?
That would be lovely.
Yes,
and
sir.
by the way, I believe we still do not have a clinic next week.
No, Clinton.
Yeah,
I think he's in Tampa for a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right. Well, since Clinton isn't here, we're going to do a special episode.
Uh-oh.
We're going to shave each other live on air.
We're going to shave each other's butts live on air.
I need it.
You need a good old butt shave?
Yes, I do.
The old shave of the ass?
A good old-fashioned butt wax.
The old wax of the tookie?
Mm-hmm.
A little tookie wax? All right. Next week,
Watch it be a clip.
we're going to do a special episode called Questions. Me, Doug, and Eric are all going to write down questions all throughout the week. I want everybody to have at least 20.
Okay.
We might not pull from all of them. And different what-if scenarios. What do we think about a certain talent? What's our favorite? Any type of wrestling-related
What
questions.
color thong do we like to wear?
Well, that's not wrestling.
Like future matches you want to see in
Yeah.
the company.
Stuff like that. What do you like better?
Storylines you're intrigued by.
We don't even have to each have 20, but at least like 10.
Okay.
I think I have 20.
Can we go like a little old school too?
We could, yeah, it does not have to be just about current shit.
Okay.
I want like what-if scenarios. I want all sorts of shit.
Ooh. I think
Sounds good.
I think I can get 20 out of this.
So
I can get quite a few.
Wrestling through the years questions next week. Something different. Doug, tell Eric to do something.
Eric, clip
Yeah, I
clip up.
But also, what are you doing on the cartoon show?
Well, let me grab my phone and I'll be able to tell you. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the One Tunes Combined YouTube channel. Animated Hour of Power, episode number 38. This is the last episode of Stage 3 of the Animated Anarchy series, or the last Animated Hour of Power, because we have an animated showdown as well. But on this particular program, tomorrow night, we are going to have the New Gate taking on Dragon Ball Z Kai. Neon Genesis Evangelion taking on The Promised Neverland. Cow and Chicken taking on the Mummy animated series. And our main event is going to be Courage the Cowardly Dog taking on the American Dragon Jake Long.
That's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
I don't even know which one I would pick out of that.
So that is tomorrow. When Tunes Combined YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself and 3 guys who think they are NFL referees because their judging sometimes can be horrible.
And check out the Dizzleverse on Twitch. We're going to be making our grand return real soon. And we'll see everybody next time.
All right, later.
This was fun.
Bye.
I enjoyed it.
Bye.